Today, I want to tell you about a journey, but this isn't just any journey. It's a quest so epic, it sounds almost mythological, a feat that took over 2 decades to complete. And it wasn't just about physical strength, it was a deep philosophical search to figure out what it really means to be human in our modern world. So let's just try to get a handle on the sheer scale of what we're talking about.
Okay, let's start with a number that's, well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. 169,000 kilometers. To put that into perspective for you, that's like getting on a bicycle and riding around the entire planet at the equator more than 4 times.
And that ride, it took him through 96 different countries. I mean, just imagine that. 96 different borders, 96 languages, cultures, sets of laws, all navigated by one person on a bicycle. But here's the number that really gets me, the one that's just staggering. 21 years. Seriously, let that sink in. 2 full decades and 21 days of one man's life, all dedicated to a single, unbelievably powerful idea.
And this was the line he followed. The man who put up these monumental numbers is Vladislav Ketov, a Russian artist and traveler. Now for him, this was never about setting some kind of world record. His whole motivation was to follow the one route on Earth that doesn't need to be drawn on a map. The one, as he says, drawn by the Creator.
So we've got the what of the journey down, the insane numbers, the route. But the why, that's where this story really takes off. For Ketov, you see, the bicycle was just the tool. He was using the entire planet as his own personal laboratory to test a really profound theory about life itself.
Ketov's whole philosophy really boils down to this cosmic struggle between 2 fundamental principles. On one side, you've got the harmonic principle. This is life. It's an open system, always growing, adapting, creating diversity. The perfect model for this is a tree, right? Branching out in every direction. And then, on the other side, you have the crystalline principle. This is the model for politics, for bureaucracy. It's a closed system, totally rigid, repetitive, hierarchical. The model for this one? A pyramid. And here's the crucial point. Keto believes that our minds are naturally open, they're harmonic, like that tree. But they've been infected by what he calls an information virus, a virus that forces our thinking into these rigid, closed, crystalline patterns. And that, he argues, is the real root of all our intolerance, our aggression, and our conflicts.
And if you want a perfect illustration of this crystalline principle in action, just look at this. It's brilliant. Out of the entire 21-year journey, Keto spent about 7 years actually on his bike, moving. He spent nearly 10 years, a full decade, just waiting. Waiting for visas, waiting for permits, fighting man-made systems to cross imaginary lines on a map. It's a painful but perfect example of how rigid systems throw up these absurd obstacles to a living, breathing project.
And just in case you're thinking this was some rogue, unrecognized quest, it's important to note that Ketov's project has been officially acknowledged at the highest levels. He was the very first person to be awarded the title Outstanding Traveler of Russia, and he was designated a UNEP Globetrotter by the United Nations for promoting environmental consciousness. This was the real deal.
So, the journey on the road might be over, but in its wake, it left something absolutely priceless and tangible. A one-of-a-kind archive of our world at the turn of the millennium.
And this is why we're really diving into this story right now. For the first time, this incredible archive, this 2-decade snapshot of humanity, is becoming available to the world. You see, because of the evolving situation in his home country, Ketov is now looking for global partners, investors, and creators to help preserve this unique legacy by unlocking its massive potential. And what an asset it is! We are talking about a true time capsule of our planet. Over 38,000 photographs. More than 120 audio cassettes filled with his daily thoughts and diaries. Thousands of hand-drawn portraits he made to fund his travels. Hundreds of navigational maps covered in his personal notes. It's a historical, cultural, and artistic treasure of just immense scale. After drawing thousands upon thousands of faces from every corner of the globe, this was his simple, powerful conclusion. And it's an insight that just perfectly ties the entire physical archive back to the project's deep, humanistic philosophy. So, if this incredible archive is now unlocked, what's the vision for its future? Well, this is where a historic journey transforms into a living, breathing, and frankly, enormous opportunity.
The plan to bring this archive to the world is concrete and it's multifaceted. First, sharing the full story through books and publications. Then, bringing this epic quest to the screen. Think a documentary, a feature film, or even an interactive adventure game.
Third, creating immersive, interactive museum exhibitions. And finally, licensing the project's totally unique materials and its emblem. Each one of these is a huge opportunity to share this global story with a massive new audience.
But the grandest vision of all, the true legacy, is this: the Terrimeter way. The idea is to use Kitov's actual route as the blueprint for a global bicycle path, a permanent physical symbol of a united planet, encouraging a whole new generation of travelers to live healthily and ecologically. How cool is that? Which brings us to the next chapter of this incredible story. Because this isn't just about something that's over and done with. No, this is an invitation to become part of what happens next. And this project's global mission to promote environmental awareness and ethical citizenship has been recognized for decades. Just look at this, a formal agreement from 1995 with the United Nations Environment Program. This has always been about more than just one man's journey. Ultimately, it all comes back to Kitov's conclusion about humanity's purpose. He says our mission isn't to look for life out there in the cosmos, but to spread and preserve the precious, amazing life we have right here. And participating in this project's next chapter is a real contribution to that exact mission. So we're left with this thought. The line around the world has been drawn by one man's incredible, unbelievable determination. The question now is, who will help build the path?